Well, just imagine one day the Earth is rotating, but then we are jerked, back 30 degrees and we stay there. We're just jerked and we stay locked.
Whoa.
30 degrees.
That's insane.
I'm telling you, that's right. That would move everything on the surface of the planet, because it's almost like introducing a magnet closer to another magnet. Well, when you do that, at a given point, one magnet will change its orientation to match whatever's, the other magnet. But then it releases. They have observed this several times in binary systems. There's a great caution. They believe this is actually going to happen to this planet. In fact, they're preparing for things that people have not come up with a concept for. It's just not in public thinking. And what they're preparing for.
I mean, how many earthquakes would this cause, Mike? I mean, when I started thinking about this,
everything would move. Everything would move. Everything. So that you might as well say that's a planet shaking. That's a planet. Everything would move.
Yeah, I mean, when the Bible says, and I read that earlier tonight, every mountain and every island were moved out of their place. That's basically what you're saying here.
Yeah. Everything.
Now, it wouldn't kill everybody. It wouldn't kill everybody in the planet, but it certainly would kill a lot of people.
It caused some problems. I think lots of people would survive that. They probably would not want to survive, but they will survive that. There are signs before that too, Pascal, because our atmosphere, right? Our atmosphere is about to change. It's really about to change. Altitudes, the pressures are about to change. And what that means is people hurt in the knees and in the thighs and in the legs when a storm comes.
Yeah.
Get ready for that to double. Get ready for it to double. It's going to become uncomfortable. Get ready for that to double.
It's already uncomfortable. This year?
Well, because our proximity to things out there is a bit closer than what was suspected at the beginning of the year. Right? They can act. Things are being seen right now, Pastor Paul.
Yeah.
So things are not mysterious anymore.
I'm going to show you something.
It's caused quite a bit of caution within quite a few people.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you a picture. I'm going to put it behind me on the screen here. You'll see it any moment if you got a little bit of delay. That is a picture from yesterday from something that hit the earth. I'm assuming it's that wave, that you said that wave was going to hit the earth on the 15th of March. And yesterday was the 16th. That is the South Pole. That is what down near the southern pole, the sky turned red with some green near the horizon. Now, while this was the South Pole, the North Pole was more of a greener aurora, an incredible, spectacular aurora. The South Pole was a reddish aurora. They said that just came. It's unbelievable. Both poles were in auroras at the same time. Is that from this wave or whatever was?
I would say it could be Pascal. I know that because if you say one was green and one was red, okay, the red and the green the colors come from high altitude collisions with oxygen, nitrogen, things of that nature, right? They show up different colors at different parts of the altitude when you have those high speed collisions as the nucleus is knocked out.
Okay.
The sun did that. Those are solar winds, which means its polarization was in the middle of changing over, so it kind of got absorbed into both poles. That means it was pretty strong. It was really strong because the Earth absorbs, our magnetosphere is designed to absorb all the solar radiation, to take in that solar radiation, which keeps the planet alive. Right? It keeps the planet alive. And so the magnetosphere is basically a highway for high-speed particles, despite what type particles they are. For it to absorb on both sides means that was a lot. That was a whole bunch of solar material that came to Earth, right? Now, this will be seen probably all over the Earth consistently in months to come. So just imagine every evening the sky is so beautiful that everybody comes out with their cameras, they're taking pictures, they think it's beautiful. I can tell you right now, when they do this, they will not understand that that's a sign of bad danger. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
They don't know
So,
it though. They don't know.
no, they won't know it. They'll think it's beautiful and everything else, and they won't realize what that actually represents. So that's something else I'm looking for. And I've always, that's one thing everybody can look for when they start seeing the auroras, both in the north and the south, where everybody can see it. Then make sure that your houses are in order. Don't wait. Don't put anything off. People should do that today, not to put anything off, but that will be so close to an event that it'll be a non-reversible event. Let's put it that way.
So are these waves bringing a stronger cosmic, are they bringing more radiation and UV?
Sure they are. They are building the particulate count. Let me give it.
Okay, now we had a 7.2. I think it was finally downgraded to 7.0 in New Zealand yesterday. I was wondering if that wave that came did this. Are you expecting anything else here in the next 48 hours?
Yes.
Okay, go
in
ahead.
the next 90, I believe the calculation was 94 hours. I'm expecting some turbulence with the Earth.
94 hours, okay.
Yeah, in other words, this pulse was totally absorbed. So all that, it seems like the majority of that radiation that came inside of our solar system was absorbed. So naturally that's going to start feeding the sun with, it's going to energize our sun.
It's got to.
Possibly in the wrong way. Now, my prayer right now, I do have a prayer right now, is that it does not alter how these CMEs are polarized. Because I'll tell you something, a tiny CME that is polarized, the same as the Earth, you know what happens?
No.
All our lights go out. It does not have to be an X-class flare. It does not have to be any major flare. It could be a tiny, tiny, tiny CME. And if it's polarized, exactly the same as the Earth is going to put our lights out.
Are you talking about our power grid?
It'll fry everything.
Just put our lights out.
So I'll say it again.
Down.
We do not need a large X-class flare. We could have the smallest CME anybody has ever seen. The reason the lights have not gone out is because how these CMEs and these flares are polarized. That's what the government watches for, is the polarity of these ejections. And if they are polarized and they match the Earth is going to absorb the entire thing on its surface. We can't take that. We just can't, because the solar winds are too strong. The sun right now is 7 times more powerful than what it was, 22 years ago. Pastor
Paul. I
so then
7 times more.
That's right. So that means,
22 years.
These CMEs that we've been having, they would have called those X-class flares a long time ago. They've downgraded, right?
Okay.
Some of these ejections from the sun, they've downgraded big time. The sun is incredibly active. And so it's so funny. Sometimes I chuckle at it, but I don't like it. All they have to do to get people to not pay attention to something is put out a chart, right? And people, they say that, well, that's scientific. They know what they're talking about.
So are you seeing different data than what the?
I always see different data.
Does it frustrate you? Okay. Does that?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
We're being lied to. We're being lied to big time, aren't we?
It's considered classified, right? It's considered part of national security, and you can't say a thing. You just can't say a thing. I try not to say anything pertaining to that. Right. But I purposely give out ambiguous information that turns out to be true, that goes against some of this public stuff that comes out.
And so it's helpful when you're able to share what you can. And I know you have to talk in some riddles and you have to work around it, and you don't ever want to break classified information, and you don't.
Right.
But at the same time, it helps us to know that if it don't add up, it's probably because it's not adding up. And thank God we can have these types of discussions, because,
yes,
you're seeing what's going on actually. And I guess that's why I keep bringing up to you, like, okay, Mike, there's something going on here. When I saw this sky right here, I'm just going to give you this example. When I saw this sky, this is the South Pole or the southern region of the United States or the world's sky, and I saw the northern one and it's green, I'm saying, help me understand this. These are two polar, this is where all the energy that hits the earth goes into the polar caps.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be something going on in the south, a little different than what's going on in the north. This is a ton of energy. I'm just saying, I don't know, but it sure looks like a lot of energy to me. Is there something there? Is there something we should be aware of, do you think?
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Oh, and keep this in mind. Anytime you see that, Pastor Paul, this also coordinates with temperature fluctuations in the water. And everybody should know that in the water are these big giant ice sheets, right?
Yeah.
And these temperature fluctuations are going to melt the bottoms of these ice sheets. And if they break off, here comes a water event.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
And you've been telling us that the core of the earth is heating up.
Yes, it is.
And
yes, it is.
It's melting those polar caps from the bottom.
Yes, it is, from the bottom up. Yep.
Which is making water rise on the earth.
That's right. And for example, if one of them breaks, if it melts another, I think it's another 200 feet, Pastor Paul, then the oceans will rise about, I think it's about 4.5 feet.
That's insane. It can't. If it does, the coastal flooding will be outrageous in some parts of the world.
There you go.